In a dark forest, a man confronts a terrified woman. He tells her he will take care of things, his voice cold and menacing. As he attacks, a small child watches in horror from a hiding place. Years later, we meet Myung-jin, a woman burdened by care. She's discussing medication for her mother-in-law, who suffers from seizures. The family is moving to the countryside for the grandmother's health. They hope the familiar surroundings of her hometown will bring her peace. The family arrives at their new, isolated home near Jangsan Mountain. Her young daughter, Asa, explores the new surroundings. Myung-jin calls for her daughter, trying to keep the family together. She checks on her mother-in-law, who seems lost and unresponsive. Later, the grandmother wanders outside, drawn by something unseen. She calls out for her sister, confusing her with her granddaughter, Asa. The old woman hears a voice that isn't there, claiming it's someone who is dead. She shares a chilling belief with Asa. When you hear the voices of the dead, it means your own end is near. Terrified, she urges the child to run back inside. That night, Myung-jin confides in her husband, Hyun. She believes she saw their son, Jun-soo, who disappeared 5 years ago. Hyun is skeptical, reminding her that their son is gone. He tries to ground her in reality, but her hope is relentless. She refuses to simply erase their son from memory. The weight of their shared tragedy hangs heavily between them. The next day, they see 2 children putting up posters for a lost dog. The children's determination gives Myung-jin a flicker of encouragement. They tell her not to give up, to keep searching. That night, the 2 children search for their dog in the woods. The atmosphere is tense and dark. One of them hears something and sees a terrifying figure. But when the other looks, there is nothing there. While walking near their home, Myung-jin and Hyun find a little girl. She is alone, silent, and seems lost. The girl suddenly speaks, pleading for help. Nearby, Hyun investigates a boarded-up cave entrance. He pries it open and makes a gruesome discovery inside. At the police station, they meet Detective Park. He questions them about the body they found. Myung-jin insists there was a girl there, but the police are focused elsewhere. Back home, an unnerving surprise awaits. The mysterious girl from the woods has followed them home. Hyun is shocked, wondering how she found their house. Meanwhile, Detective Park delves into old case files. He uncovers a history of disappearances connected to the cave. The reports share a disturbing detail: victims heard voices of the dead. Voices of family and friends, calling them towards the cave. In Asa's room, the strange girl finds clothes that belong to Jun-soo. They fit her perfectly, a chilling coincidence. When Asa asks for her name, the girl mimics her. "I'm Asa," she says, "I'm Asa, too." The next day, Hyun feels a strange irritation in his eyes. He confronts Myung-jin about letting the girl wear their son's shirt. The grandmother sees the girl and is overcome with terror. She screams a dire warning: the cave has opened. She can hear the voices again and insists they must leave immediately. Hyun is called back to the police station. They found his car near the mountain, linking him to the crime scene. The detective asks how he knew the dead woman. A flashback reveals the woman, desperate and afraid. She had begged him to enter the cave with her. Back at the house, the grandmother's sanity frays completely. She attacks the little girl, screaming that she is not human. "That's not my brother," she cries, lost in delusion. Hyun finds the grandmother's pills discarded. He tells Myung-jin they can no longer care for her themselves. He has already made arrangements for her to go to a nursing home. That night, Asa asks her mother about her brother. Myung-jin explains that Jun-soo is lost. She reveals a painful secret: only the grandmother knows what happened to him. But because of her illness, the memory is locked away. The family's pain finally erupts in a heated argument. Myung-jin accuses Hyun of wanting to erase everyone connected to their pain. She refuses to give up on finding their son. Hyun, pushed to his limit, screams for her to stop. He delivers the brutal truth he has forced himself to accept. He's dead. We have to believe that. Let him go. The next morning, they make a startling discovery. The grandmother has vanished from her room. Myung-jin reports her mother-in-law missing to the police. She adds that her husband is also unreachable, deepening the mystery. When she returns home, she finds the little girl is also gone. The detective reports a strange finding: no girl matching her description is missing. But then he pulls out an old file from the 1980s. The photo inside shows a girl identical to the one they took in. Desperate for answers, Myung-jin seeks out a local shaman. He tells her of the legend of the Jangsan tiger, a spirit from folklore that mimics human voices to lure its prey. He explains that people are sacrificed to this entity. It uses their guilt, anger, and longing against them. It exploits their vulnerabilities, slowly draining them. He asks about her eyes, giving a final, chilling warning. As the spirit weakens you, your vision will begin to darken. Just as the shaman foretold, Myung-jin's eyesight begins to fail. She rushes to find Asa, pulling her into a room for safety. She uses the talisman from the shaman to ward the door. The spirit girl appears, perfectly mimicking Asa's voice from outside. She tries to lure Myung-jin out, but the mother sees through the trick. Remembering the shaman's words, she knows she can't trust what she hears. Myung-jin realizes the girl is the key to finding her family. The girl agrees to lead her to the cave, but on one condition. Promise you'll protect me, she pleads, and never leave me. Before she leaves, Myung-jin gives Asa a coded instruction. She tells her a story about a tiger that mimics a mother's voice. Don't trust anyone, she warns, not even me. The girl leads her into the suffocating darkness of the cave. Immediately, the spirit begins its torment, mimicking Asa's voice. It cries for help, lost in the dark, pulling at her maternal instincts. The voices shift, becoming her husband and mother-in-law. They blame her, telling her it's all her fault. Deeper inside, she finds Hyun, weak and disoriented. His sight is gone. I can't see anything, he whispers. He urges her to go, to climb out and get help. Myung-jin finds an opening and makes a desperate call for rescue. The police and rescue team arrive on the scene. They find Myung-jin at the cave entrance, ready to guide them. As she prepares to go back in, the spirit girl appears. Mimicking Asa, she begs her mother not to go. But then, the real Asa's voice cuts through the air. Knowing the truth, Myung-jin plunges back into the cave. In the heart of the darkness, she finds him. The spirit takes the form of her lost son, Jun-soo. Mom, are you going to leave me again? The voice pleads. Hyun's real voice calls out, trying to break the spell. Torn between reality and the illusion she craves, she makes her choice. She apologizes to her husband, unable to abandon her son. She promises the boy she will be a good mother. I'll never leave you, she whispers, embracing the phantom. As she holds him, the cave begins to collapse. The entrance is sealed, entombing them together. Outside, the rescue team can only stare in disbelief. The spirit girl stands alone in the now silent forest. She listens, as a new voice joins the mountain's tragic chorus. It is Myung-jin's, calling for her son from inside her rocky grave. If you want a recap of your favorite movies and shows, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. See you next time, everyone.